Hi cooking cronies, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make mini meatloaf, and the reason for the mini is because it cooks quicker and it's a nice, fast, during the week dinner. Okay, I'm starting off with 1 pound of hamburger, and I buy mine in bulk, so I measure it and put it in individual containers, individual plastic wraps. So that's 1 pound of lean ground beef, and I'm going to add Progresso breadcrumbs. And I'm going to add about a half a cup. Good thing. 1 egg. And I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And this is to your taste, so there's really not a measurement for that. I'm going to put some mustard in just because I'm not using pork, I'm using all beef, and I really like the way the flavor of the mustard enhances the beef. So just about a teaspoon, and then some Worcestershire, and probably about a tablespoon of this. Love this flavor. It's got so many different spices in it that it really brings out the flavor of the meat. So I'm going to let that set for a minute before I start mixing it. And I'm going to dice up an onion and a garlic, and I'm going to saute it in over the stove. And once it's sauteed, I'm going to mix everything together. And so the reason I'm not doing anything with the hamburger meat at this point is because I don't want it to get tough from overworking it. So, all right, so I'm going to dice a half an onion. And this is a large onion, and just because we like a lot of onion at this house, we like a lot of spice, a lot of seasoning, I'm using a large onion. You know, this is comfort food, so use what your family likes. You know, if you don't like onion, don't add onion. You can use, if you don't have fresh onion, you can use onion powder or garlic powder. And then you don't have to worry about sauteing anything. So just whatever your family preference is. And like I said, I just got home from work just a little bit ago, and I wanted meatloaf today for some reason. So that's why I decided, instead of making a large meatloaf, which takes quite a while to cook, this one will take maybe 30 minutes. So, and I'm going to put the onion in to saute before I put the garlic in, because I don't want the garlic to burn and get a bitter flavor. So, use about a tablespoon of butter, and I'll put that here in my saute pan. Okay, so I'm going to turn the heat on here. And once my butter has melted, then I'll add my onion to it. So I'm going to continue to chop my onion. I don't want it too big because I don't want it to be poking out of my meatloaf. And if you don't have breadcrumbs, you can use oats. That always is real nutritious. So feel free. Some people like rice in their meatloaf. I in particular do not. So this is starting to melt pretty good. Cut that out, Vicky. All right, so I'm going to add my onions. And I'm going to cook them just until they're translucent. Oh gosh, love that smell. I'm going to add a little salt to my onions just to help flavor. And to get excess water out, that helps. gosh, this smells delicious. So meanwhile, while this is sauteing, I'm going to chop up my garlic. And I do have a large garlic, and again, it's a preference. My family likes garlic. So while I dice this, you all can keep an eye on my onions for me. And I want my garlic pretty fine, so I'm going to go over it with the knife pretty good. I don't want a paste. I guess I could have used my garlic crush, but there's something else to wash. So I'm going to add my garlic in there with my onions now. Give them a quick little stir. Love that. Okay, while that's finishing up, I'm going to use some Pam olive oil spray into my muffin. I have silicone muffin cups, and these are jumbo muffin cups. So I'm going to give them a quick spray. Wipe the sides of my pan where I got sprayed because I don't want it to burn on there, even though it's happened many times before. Live and learn. All right, I think my onions are good. I'm going to turn those off. So now I'm going to add this beautiful mixture into my meat. You know, if you like, you can also saute some bell pepper and put that in as well. You can season it with some chili powder. You can season it with just about anything, but this is my preference. So now I'm going to mix everything together. Just a note, I use fresh eggs. My dad has chickens, so he brings me eggs. So if you're wondering how to make sure that your fresh eggs, or any eggs actually, are fresh, have not reached their expiration date, basically, is put them in a bowl of cold water. If they sink to the bottom, they're still good. If they float, throw them away. They're not good anymore to eat. If they just kind of sit up on their top, but they're not floating, but they're kind of standing up, they're still okay to eat. And I would do that quickly. I wouldn't leave them in the refrigerator too much longer. Okay, this looks pretty good. I know on the kitchen, Sunny uses the pitchfork with her fingers and mixes it, but you know, I just don't want that meat underneath my fingernails. I know, call me a sissy girl, but okay, so I'm going to pat those and stick them in each. You know, you don't have to measure them, just whatever you feel, how big or small you want your meatloafs to be. I just want them to be big enough to fill my muffin cups. So that's what I'm doing here. I think this mixture would be good for hamburgers as well. I don't know. It just smells so good, that Worcestershire, or however you pronounce it, you know, tomato, just brings out the best in food, I believe. It's got so many different ingredients in it that it just seasons your meats really well, especially your beef. Okay, this is my last one. I think I did good. You know, and if you don't have onion, I said you can use onion powder. You can also use onion soup mix. I've done that before. It's a little overpowering, but it works. Okay, so there's my beautiful meatloaf. I'm going to come over here and wash my hands real quickly and see how pretty they look. I'm going to put them into my oven. I'm just going to use my little toaster oven today. I'm going to let them cook for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to put a topping on them. And I'll show you what that topping is going to look like in just a moment. Okay, so I have my toaster oven going. Wipe things down here. I don't like a messy kitchen when I'm cooking. Okay, I don't have regular brown sugar, which you can use for this. I have the Splenda brown sugar, and I love it, so that's what we're going to use today. So I'm going to get some ketchup out of my refrigerator. I use Hunt's ketchup. It's just my preference. And I'm going to just use maybe 1/4 of a cup. And then I'm going to use about a teaspoon. And I'm going to mix this. If you have any chili powder or chili sauce, like you know, a hot sauce, you can put that in here if you like heat. So once my meatloaf is done, or halfway done, I will bring them out, brush some of this on there, and then put them back in for the remaining 15 minutes. So stay tuned. Okay, so I've taken them out of the little oven, and I'm going to put a little bit of this tomato sauce on each one, and then I'm going to return them to the oven. And what I did meanwhile is I have some potatoes on to cook. I'm going to make some mashed potatoes, and I will use a gravy mix. It's fast, since I really don't have any drippings to use to make fresh gravy. So I'm going to use a gravy mix, and then just a salad for dinner. So a nice, easy, healthy meal. So those look pretty, and I'll stick those back in the oven. Okay, while the meat is finishing cooking, I have put on some potatoes. So they are boiling here. They're just about done. And then I'm using a gravy mix, and I use just the Kroger brand brown gravy mix. So that's what I've got going in my little saucepan here. So I want it all to come together. So meanwhile, I'm going to do the salad as well. And I like bell pepper in my salads. So I purchased the Walmart classic iceberg salad, and then I have a beautiful orange bell pepper that I'm going to wash and chop up, and then I use the Campari, the private selection from King Super, the Campari tomatoes, and I'll dice a few of those up in here as well in my salad. So everything's coming together. Doesn't take much time. You just have to time it correctly. So my potatoes, I think, are done. As I continue to watch my gravy, I don't want it to get any lumps in it. Okay, now I'm going to drain my potatoes in my sink here. You can see I have a sink full of water because I do my dishes as I go. So I'm going to drain my potatoes. Okay, I'm going to mash them down. Just a little bit before I add the butter and the seasoning. And you know what kind of seasoning I'm going to add, don't you? Because this family loves it. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder to my potatoes. Just makes them delicious. Like I said, everything's better with garlic. Okay, so I'm going to add some butter into this mixture. I get this whole pound of butter from Sam's. I just love it. It's great for cooking. So, put that in there. Now that I'm done with it, I'll put it back in the refrigerator. You don't really need to refrigerate your butter, but you know, if you don't use it right away, I think it gets a funny taste. So I'm going to add a little bit of milk. For my gravy here. This is the garlic powder that I use. You can get this at King Super, Walmart, wherever you shop. And salt and pepper, of course. Looks like a lot came out. Lots of pepper. All right, so I'm going to continue to mash them. If we want them real fluffy, we'll use a hand mixer and mix them. But, you know, tonight, I don't care if there's a few lumps in there. It's okay. So these are coming around just nice. I don't want to add too much milk because I don't want them runny. I want them to have some substance to them. And if you like, you can add cheese to them, but I'm not going to do that this evening. They are kind of dry, so I'm going to add a little more milk. That's better. You know the consistency you like. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. Yeah. Tasting really good. I'm going to add a little more milk. I don't want them to be dry. I just don't want them to be runny. You can hear my pups. They know Mike is in the garage and they think they need to be with him. He stayed outside while I taped this segment. Okay, I'm done mashing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir in a little more milk. Okay, looks yummy. So I'm going to set this back on the stove and cover it. So meanwhile, I'm me get a bowl and mix up my salad. That's signaling that my meatloaf is done, so I'm going to get that out. Oh yeah, looks delicious. Huh, wasn't so lean, that beef, but that's all right. That's added flavor. So I'm going to cut my bag of pre-mixed lettuce and put it in my bowl. Don't need too much, there's just two of us. I'm just going to slice off a little bit of the bell pepper. Don't need the whole thing for two of us. I'm not going to dice them real small. I want to be able to eat them with a fork. Nice sized chunks. Add those in there. And then I will put a couple of tomatoes in. And I've pre-washed my tomatoes. And I'm just going to quarter my tomatoes today. And that is my quick dinner. In about 30 to 35 minutes, actually, well, about 45 minutes if you consider all the prep that you need to do. And you can use any your favorite dressings. Mine, of course, is the Olive Garden, and I'm gonna just pre-mix that, and that way it's ready. The salad's ready for us to eat. I sure hope you will enjoy this recipe. Try it out with your family. I think they'll like it. You know, my husband is a meat and potato eater, so he's gonna love this. He could probably do without the salad, but I like a vegetable with my dinner. So I'm going to plate this and show you. I'm going to use a slotted spoon. And I'll plate Mike's first. I'll give him two. And I'll get one. And then I'm going to put our mashed potatoes on here with our gravy. So I'm going to put the mashed potatoes on here. Mike likes a lot of potatoes, so I'll probably have to give him a separate bowl for his salad. Some gravy on there. And doesn't that look delicious? I hope you give it a try. Thank you for watching. God bless.